We tend to value things we can see, things we can touch, gold, jewels, heck, even entire universes. But what if the most valuable thing in existence is something you can't see at all? Today, we're going to dive into an ancient text that makes a truly mind-bending case for the infinite power of a single thought. So it kind of begs the question, right? What is the most powerful thought a person can possibly have? Sounds pretty abstract, I know, but the ancient text we're exploring today doesn't just answer this question. It actually tries to measure it. Okay, so our guide here is a text called the Sutra Requested by Viradatta. And it doesn't just give us a simple definition. Nope. It introduces this really powerful concept it calls the enlightened mind. The specific term for this is bodhicitta. Now, this isn't just about some personal growth journey or finding a little inner peace. Bodhicitta is a state of mind that's laser-focused on attaining enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I mean, that is a radically altruistic and expansive idea. So, how in the world do you even start to develop a mindset like this? Well, the text lays out a pretty direct two-step process. First, you've got to learn about it. You dive into its limitless qualities to really get the scope of what you're aiming for. And then you actually practice it. You consciously and repeatedly bring your focus back to generating this very state of mind. So it's this mix of, knowing what you're doing and then actually intentionally doing it. Okay, so this gets us right to the heart of the matter. If this state of mind is so powerful, how do you measure its value, or what the text calls its merit? And the way the sutra answers this is with a series of these just incredible metaphors. The first one tries to measure it against space itself. Just listen to this first verse. If the merit of bodhicitta were to have a form, it would fill all the realms in space, and yet be even greater. Just let the scale of that sink in for a moment. Right, so the key here is this. It's asking us to imagine, what if this thought had a physical shape? Well, that shape wouldn't just fill the universe, it would literally be bigger than the entire universe. The value of this one state of mind is being presented as greater than all of physical reality. But look, the text gets it. Bigger than the universe is, well, it's a little hard to wrap your head around, right? So it tries again, shifting gears from the emptiness of space to something we can kind of picture, the most precious stuff imaginable. It's trying to give us another way to grasp this immense value. And this brings us to the next comparison, and it is absolutely staggering. The text sets up this hypothetical offering. If someone were to fill with jewels as many Buddha realms as there are sand grains in the Ganges and offer them to the Buddhas, so that's one side of the equation, the physical offering. I mean, just try to picture the scale of this. That phrase, as many realms as there are sand grains in the Ganges, that's a classic way of saying a number so huge it might as well be infinite. So what we're being asked to do is imagine a countless number of universes, and every single one is just packed to the brim with jewels. That's the physical gift on the table. Okay, and this is where it all comes together. On one hand, you've got this unbelievable universe-spanning offering of jewels. And now the text is going to compare all of that to one single, simple mental act. This is the ultimate showdown, and what it reveals is just stunning. All right, let's break this down so it's super clear. On one side, you have the ultimate physical offering you could ever imagine, filling countless universes with jewels. And on the other side, you have a simple mental act, a person joining their palms and just imagining bowing to this idea of enlightenment for all. So it's this huge physical act versus a quiet internal thought. So which one is worth more? The text doesn't hesitate for a second. The offering of the person who simply imagined bowing would be far greater. And the reason why is the most important part of this whole thing. For it does not have any limits. And that right there, that just brilliantly lands the core message. Think about it. The offering of jewels, no matter how huge, is still finite. You could, in theory, count them. But that selfless, focused intention, it's boundless. The power of a single focused thought, according to this text, is literally infinite. Now, this is a seriously profound idea from centuries ago, but it really hits home today, doesn't it? So why does any of this matter? Well, because it's pointing to something incredible, the limitless potential sitting right inside your own mind right now. All right, so let's boil this down. What are the big takeaways here? First, a truly focused, selfless intention can be way more powerful than any physical action. I don't care how big. And second, the potential of our minds isn't just big, it is literally completely without limits. And that really brings us to one last question to think about. It's a question this ancient text is basically asking every single one of us. If one single intention can be truly limitless, what then is the true potential of your mind?